lovelies, and thought we'd have a bit of a craft, a bit of a play in my long thin document journal. And I'm really enjoying this. I'm getting carried away a bit with it. So what have I done to the cover? I've done a few more bits to the cover. I've had some appliques. I've done a bit more colouring, I think. I want to still put some lace, I think, some trim down there and down there. I've done the back, so I've collaged the back and again put some appliques and some embroidery things, which is coming very soon. We've got some vintage embroidery patterns and David's making a kit with them. I've put a applique round there. I've sewn the signatures in. I've started putting a few beads and bits on there. So we've got 4 signatures, and then front and back I've got a file folder. And I thought we'd have a go, not a go, but you know what I mean. I thought we'd do a bit to the file folder. I've made a start. So I've made this affair, which you know me, I don't normally remember which way I'm doing these sorts of things before, but I think it works. So what I've done is this is actually some craft card, and on the front here I've made a pocket. So we've got some tags to make in another video, and then this comes down. So we need to cover that you can write on, a bit of secret journaling in there if you want. And then we turn it over and we've got a flap here. So there's a pocket there. I've put a pocket there and there's a little pocket there. Now I've turned that back and I quite like actually slotting it in there. I was thinking about doing something to tie it down, but I think I may well slot it in there. And then on there we need to do some collage, and then that's the back of the file folder, and then we get into the signatures. So I thought I'd show you them in all the glory. So got this old ledger book, and I've got some of the pictures out, and I was really thrilled because the long thin document kits from Rachel at Roxy Creations actually fit beautifully on this ledger paper. And you see, we've got an Epsom Eco Tank, and it's a fantastic printer, but often it doesn't like anything out the ordinary wise paper. But this must be a certain thickness it was happy with, because yeah. So I've printed the document kit of Rachel's, and then some other of her backgrounds as well from other kits I've got of hers that work really beautifully. And I thought that we would have put some of that on. So if that's going to come down here, we need something that is going to fit. And that will give us a bit, let's have a look. And we can pull that down, and that will give us writing space. Because if not, we don't want it too patterned. That's a nice one there. Tell you what, let's use that. So I'm just going to, let me put that up there a minute so I can get in. I'm just going to roughly, let me pull that down. And then just, so you can measure it exactly if you want, but I'll tell you the measurements of the file that I've put in here that works. So we are 5, just over 5¼ really, by just 8 3/4. So I'm going to just use my tear ruler. We haven't got to do too much faffing really, have we? We can use nice big sheets. There we go. I'm going to turn it round because I can't get at it. That's it. I'm just going to trim that off slightly because, oh, I ain't got my thing on. Should wear my thing when I'm tearing like this because the arthritis is bad in my thumb, and doing this doesn't help matters. What have I done with my scissors? Let's turn that under. Okay. Right, so I'm going to stick that down with my art glitter glue. I mean, actually, you know, I've got plenty, so if I haven't got plenty, I could easily use my glue stick for this. So there's going to be plenty of places, I think, to write in this journal. I've made journals long and thin before, and I put fabric and all sorts in. In fact, I shall have to get it out next time we do a film. I'll get it out because I put it away because it's probably 2 years ago I made it now. And I used that with some fabric from Rachel, some Italian fabric. So let us just check where that is going so it doesn't crash into the bottom. In actual fact, just needs just a little bit of trimming down there. There we go. So will go there. I'll trim that little bit off later. So we could put a tag or something in there. Then we have got that there. Okay then. So I hope you're all doing well. Hope you've had a good crafting week so far. What shall I put on that bit? I'm not used to all these flips and flaps, am I? Let's see. I did notice, sorry I'm leaning over you. I did notice one of them that I know is from one of the other kits. But look how lovely that has printed on there. So if I just okay. Now then, that could just fit there. Okay, we'll do that bit first there. probably not that thrilling watching me do this, but I wanted you to see it before I'd done really anything with the file fold, you know, before I decorated the file folder. That could go in there. No, fit it about there, look. Next to the neater edge. Okay. Let's turn that over so we can do that bit. There we go. They're gorgeous for collaging as well, you know, these, you don't have to make them all into pages, you can, you know, you can do little bits of collage with it. There we go. So, let's just get my ruler down there just to stick it down. There we go. Now I quite like that. I don't think that I want to put anything there. I might just put a big label, I think, there. I don't really want it covering. Let's see. Right, let's twizzle it round and tear this bit off. Okay. I know the edge is looking a bit raggedy, but it doesn't matter really. Well, it doesn't matter to me. There we go. We'll put that on there. I might smooth it off a little bit. I can find my scissors. So, I'm just going to glue down there. So, are you making one of these document journals? Let me know if you are. If you're making one. I've been having loads of fun. I've been just sticking bits of paper on and playing about with it. It's a bit scratchy, sorry. Without glitter glue. Having a scratchy day. Right, okay. Let's get those on. There. I think I'm going to ink down there actually. I don't know where half of my stuff is today. I'm not very well. Just hold on there. I'll be right back. Okay, I needed to find my scissors and some ink. There. Let's just trim this. There we go. And I'm just going to ink round this edge because it is rather raggedy. And I like that, but I just want it to look like it's part of it rather than part of it instead of me being a bodgy crafter. There we go. I'll just put a bit along there. And a bit down there. Okay. Now it's me being a bit precise. Right. Just sing amongst yourselves while I'm faffing. There we go. So that can go in, that will tuck in there. Good. I like that. So let's, while we're at it, let's just ink around this. As you know, I'm not a massive inker, but I think because we're using craft card, you know, you want to turn it round again. Just finishes it off a bit, doesn't it? There we go. My bobbles are in the way. Get that one. Okay, so this comes down. I'll have a think about how I want to secure that, whether it's going to flap about or and keep coming down or not. We'll see. So we've got that there, and I put it on upside down, look. Hey ho, doesn't matter, does it? It's because I twizzled it round so I could get at it. Doesn't matter, it's all for writing on. So that's the right way up. And we're all right there. Right, okay. What we're going to put down here. So let's have a look what we're going to do down here. What's this one? That is the same bit, isn't it, as that one in there. It's the right way up. I'm not going to use that then, that's too structured. Let's have a look at this one. I think this is from Rachel's Botanical Background kit. So just alter your settings on your, have a play with your settings, so that you can use some of your printables that aren't in document size, but you can print them onto long thin paper like I have. Just mess about with your settings and have a play with them. And which bit? Now you see, that's, I like it better at the top because I've got all the stamped, I've done some stamped flowers and things on there, so I like it better at the top, those poppies. So I'm just going to just trim this edge down slightly. That's it. A smidging off there. That's it. Well, nothing much to tell you. There's nothing exciting really happening at the moment. Well, some lovely sunny days, very cold, so nice to take Nelson out, but you need to, you know, wrap up because it's one of those where the sun's deceiving, and you know, you think because it's sunny, it's you don't necessarily need to wrap up, but you do because it's quite cold. But I think we're having it pretty mild, really, the weather. It's a very typical English thing, isn't it? We always have to talk about the weather in England, probably because when we do get nice weather, we're shocked. Right, so I like that. You could write on that if you wanted. Let's have a look if the other piece will fit there then. It will, won't it? Perfect. I want it that way up or that way up. Now, this time I like that way. Okay, I'll just trim it down slightly so that it'll fit. Oh, it is nice. It is nice to be able to film on David's new phone instead of holding my breath waiting for the camera to blow up. There we go. I think also we've got that autofocus if I want to hold something up, especially if I'm doing my stitchery, anything sewing. Sometimes nice to get a close-up, isn't it? So I hope you're enjoying the mindfulness Mondays. I think that's going to turn out an interesting journal. Never know what we're going to get as we go along. Pick jar will be coming back. I'm waiting for some cards to come as well. Some cards I've ordered. That's it. Lovely. And that ties in just beautiful, doesn't it? With that page, that's the first page of my signatures, the actual paper signatures. So done a bit of stamping on there. So is that it for the front one? Could do with a bit of something on there, but I'm not sure yet. And see what strips we've got left at the end. That's it. There we go. Right. I'll put that little thing in there to remind me that we've got a pocket to fill there. Right, let's go to the one at the back. Okay, I'll put a little pocket on there, so then that opens up there. We've got this, which is, I've already put that on a beautiful Edith Holden image of foxglove. I'm sure that's a foxglove. There's a pocket there, and that wraps under there. And then on this back page, we've got 2 pockets. Are you impressed? It's not like me to have all these pockets and flips and flaps, is it? Right, I've just seen this. Oh, it's a shame. I wonder if we could patch it, because I like that. That looks, let me just trim it a bit. Right, I'm going to cover that thumb hole up for now. Oh, and if you're in the UK, did you watch Happy Valley, the last Happy Valley on Sunday? It didn't end how I was expecting, but it was still thrilling. There's quite a bit of blood and stuff on it, so if you're a bit squeamish, you know. But it does say nowadays, they have to say, don't they? You're going to watch this programme and it, you know, it might be violent. Not nice. Just so people don't complain and say, I wasn't expecting there to be blood on it. Let's see if it was better that way. Yeah. We only watched the series. I don't know if you can get it. Let me know if you can get it over in the States or Europe. Whether it's gone over there. This is the 3rd and last series, I believe. And this is 7 years from series 2, this latest one. But we only started watching it last year. We haven't seen it from the very beginning when it actually aired. And if you can get hold of it, it's well worth it. It's absolutely amazing acting. There's Sarah Lancashire in it. I mean, there's Sarah Lancashire, there's George Costigan, there's James Norton, who's, yeah, we have heard he's, he may be in contention for the next James Bond, although he does a very good villain, you know. So he'll have to be a bit of a extra ruthless James Bond, I think. There's some really fantastic dramas being on recently here in the UK. Been a bit spoilt. Right, so will I be able to, no, just rip it. I mean, we don't, well, I would say that mostly we watch the television for drama programmes more often than not. Right, let's see. We need a long thin strip, don't we? Take a bit off that. Sorry, I'm just concentrating. Right. It would have been easier really to cover this card before I then glued it in place as pockets, but never mind, we can get round it, can't we? That's it. Okay. Can we get a bit round the back? No, don't like that. I ain't got anything to hold that onto, have I? Piece it, that's what we're going to do. There we go. There we are. Okay. That's the way to get round that. So pocket there, pocket there. Right. Oh, typical, I've got another one here. Right, okay. That's a little bit too... I want something that's got some reds on. That's not big enough. Okay. Now, fare it that way around. Just want, it's going to be too thin. Says she hopefully. Look at this. Just trying to feel for the edge. I'm not. Yes. Yay. I bet I couldn't do that again. I bet I couldn't. Did it though, didn't it? Did the trick. Yeah. I've put some images of Edith Holden in already, you know, as I've been decorating some of the page edgings. We'll get to that as we go through it. Okay. And I think I want some plain. We'll have some plain paper in there, I think. Just so we could, we've got a bit of writing space. Not that we've got plenty. Right, okay. Now, because of how it's glued down, I was going to put it inside, but it's not going to work out like that. Right, I'm just going to cut on this line here. There we go. You know what? I think we could have that opening, couldn't we? It's a shame to rip that off. Oh, what am I thinking? Wrong bit. That's there. That's there. No, it's not going to work because could go there though. We'll put this bit on first and then see. See why I don't do these very often, can't you? Yes. Right. Right, I'm not going to wrap it round as I thought. I'm just going to wrap that bit. Okay. And I think we'll collage this up then. And then probably I think we'll call it a video. How long I've been. That's it now. There we go. So that bit goes in there, and then I'll find somewhere else for this bit. Yeah, we'll find somewhere else for that bit. Okay then, so thank you so much for joining me. We've got at least the front one finished. Doesn't matter that it's upside down. Nobody knows. Nice little flip up there. That tucks in up there. And then that bit. And then back what we've done at the back. So we've got two pockets there. And we've got a pocket there. Bit of writing space. These lovely fox gloves. And yeah, I've only got to then cover those up. So thank you so much for joining me, and let me know if you're making one of these journals, long, thin. They're so much fun. Yeah, okay then, see you next video. Bye for now.